drink in there. You ready, babe?
Yep. Ready.
Let's see. Got the rear view camera on, backing out. Get by Sen's truck. Very good. Watch the kids behind us playing. Straighten up. Very nice.
Nice.
So what's the temperature going to be like?
17 degrees when I get there.
Got a little close to those garbage cans.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. No traffic coming, so we can go. So you fly back Thursday night?
Thursday evening, about 5. And I get here at 7:20.
Ah.
So pick me up at 7:30.
7:30. Yes, ma'am.
Checked in a bag. I was hoping not to check in a bag, but
Well, first trip up there, you want to make a good impression. Pack some. Did you pack some nice business clothes?
I wore corporate clothes. It's been a while.
I know.
7 years.
You've been used to your jeans and
T-shirts,
and baggy clothes. Now you actually got to dress up like corporate America.
Yep. No more hoodies.
No more hoodies. I'll have to say, babe, I don't miss any of that.
Corporate, I know. I know.
But they're making it worth your while.
Yeah. That's something new.
Yep. Well, it's a lot new responsibilities. All right, going in the roundabout. Well, that's pretty good that there's a direct flight from Houston to Wichita, too. Because not all mid-size, mid-American cities have
A direct flight.
direct flight from Houston.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I was kind of surprised. I was honestly thinking you were going to have to fly into Chicago or something like that.
Oh man, I would have been dying. if that
Yeah,
was
thank
me.
God. And my guess is a direct flight to Wichita. So Wichita's about 580 miles as a crow flies. So that's probably, like,
It's like a 2-hour flight.
I doubt that, babe. Like, my guess would be is, wheels up to wheels down, probably an hour, right? Hour and 15 minutes. I mean, obviously, gate time and everything is a little bit longer, but I'm just talking about the actual flight time. I'd be surprised if it's that much longer than an hour, because heck, Dallas is like 38 minutes, right? 40 minutes. Well, maybe you're right then, because Dallas is basically halfway between here and Wichita. And that's like, what, a 40-minute flight?
Yeah.
45-minute flight. You spend more time driving to the airport, checking in, getting through security, waiting at the gate, then going back through another gate terminal in Dallas and getting a rental car. You spend more time with that than you actually do in the actual flight to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
That's why it's actually soup to nuts. It's quicker for us to like drive to Dallas. I think Wichita is obviously beyond that because it's
Yeah. Plus, they want me there.
How's the temperature for you, babe?
Good, good.
It's good. Okay. You can split it.
How do I do this?
Just, yeah, there you go.
So I was looking at the new one that they just launched, the X or Y?
Model Y Juniper.
Yeah, it looks exactly like the 3 inside.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, the interior is pretty much similar to the refresh they did on the Model 3. Did you ever ride in that old Model 3 that I had from Turo? So you know how different they are then.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Did you see that maneuver around that?
Yeah.
That was pretty doggone good, babe.
Yeah. Let's just make sure we're not on that trap.
But we're not. We got over just barely, but we're over. Basically, the Tesla picked the perfect spot. We still got a gap in front of us, so we're not right on the tail of the Honda in front of us, but we don't have our tail on the railroad tracks.
And they didn't do a last-minute maneuver, which they normally do.
What are you talking about?
You know, normally, like, we need to get on the left, right? They will wait till last minute to try and maneuver in.
You talking about the other cars?
No, I'm talking about the Tesla, like, previously.
What do you mean by last? Oh, I got you. You mean on previous versions?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had more problems with lane selection. I mean, it still has some lane selection issues, don't get me wrong, but man, it's gotten so much better with that. And what I would say with this version is even when it does get itself into some lane selection issues, it can correct itself so much quicker and more confidently. You know what I mean?
So we won't have that issue like we did in Huntington Beach?
Well, we've been to Huntington Beach several times. Which issue are you talking about?
The one from this lane, they made a right. Remember when they kind of cut off?
I don't think I've ever had any issues with FSD in
yeah.
Huntington Beach.
Or maybe it was Bolsa Chica, but we were on the way somewhere.
Well, you're talking about in LA. It wasn't in Huntington Beach. It was somewhere else in LA, right?
It was somewhere in Orange County.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was on version 11.
Yeah.
See, you're bringing up old crap. Bringing up.
That was fun.
It was still, it did pretty well, but yes, it had, I know what you're talking about. It could never get up on the freeway. Was that the one you're talking about? What? God, Lord, that guy behind us has got their high beams on. I think that's their is that their high beams or their normal lights?
LED.
Oh, my gosh. It's like he's trying to get catfish to come to the surface. Holy moly. But yeah, so the interior of the new Model Y is very, at least from what I've seen, almost looks identical.
Yeah.
To the interior of the refreshed Model 3 that we have. Yeah, I'll be really interested when it finally launches here in the United States and we can go let you do a test drive. Although I know you're going to love it. If you love the Model 3, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to love the Model Y even more because you like more room.
Yes. My hoarding stuff needs.
Yeah, you got to hoard things. Like this car is not good for your hoarding habits. You've got to have space where nobody will ever sit there, but you can put 18 different hoodies that just accumulate over time. And it's like when you finally do clean out your car, it's like I find 2 hoodies that I thought I lost. They just been in your car for 18 months.
That's where it all goes.
Yeah, I tell Wyatt that if you're missing any hoodies or like any of your like pullovers, just check Tu's car because it may have been there for 12 months.
This is true. Or somewhere in my closet.
Yeah.
Can't help it. Hoodies are so comfortable.
Yeah, they are.
And it's convenient.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you'll really, if you like my Model 3 refresh, you're gonna probably love the Model Y Juniper. So it's basically the combination of both, right? So you're gonna get that Model Y size and space interior.
Yep.
But now you're gonna get all of the interior of the Model 3 refresh. I haven't done enough digging yet to see if there's anything like completely different in the interior of the new Model Y. They call it the Juniper.
Yep.
The Model Y Juniper. So they distinguish between it. You got the old Model Y and then the Model Y Juniper. I gotta look and see if there's anything significantly different, but I don't think there is. You get the bigger screen like I've got here in the new Model 3. You get the screen in the back.
Yep.
So people that want to play games or watch movies can do that back there. You're obviously going to have more leg space because it's a Model Y. It's a crossover. What else? You get the light bar.
Yeah.
I didn't honestly, babe, when I got this Model 3, the light bar was probably really low on my list. Like, I never even thought about it. And then once you drive at night with it, you're like, oh my God, I really do like the light bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it makes, and you can change up the colors. Like, it's got all the different, so I just keep it at blue.
Yep.
But you can change it to orange or pink or green or orange. I think I already said that, but you know what I mean. All the primary colors. What else? I think the steering wheel's the same.
Yeah.
Although it may be a little more of a squircle, but you know, Teslas, you can usually, by the time it gets here, one thing is you can like select different type of steering mechanisms, steering column, not columns, but you can have like more of the steering wheel like what I have. I doubt they have a yoke, but you don't like the yoke anyway.
I don't like the yoke.
Yeah. Quite honestly, the steering wheel has grown on me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the yoke, but I'm pretty good with just the standard steering wheel.
So
Go ahead.
every time you charge, how much does it normally cost to charge if you were to own
At home?
or like just on road? Like
Okay, well, charging at home is almost negligible. You know, our power costs are like 8 to 9 cents a kilowatt.
yeah.
So I always just charge it up. So there's two different things. There's just the daily charging, like just to go to work and back, or for you, it will be, well, no, you won't we'll probably won't have the boba shop at that point.
Yeah.
So the boba shop, but you'll be getting around town for your mom, doctor's appointments for your mom, going over to Atascocita, going to the Asian market, all that sort of stuff. So that sort of stuff, or when the company, or when they finally have their headquarters office in Houston, wherever that's going to be, probably the Woodlands. So that daily driving, that's all going to be out of the 110 volt in our garage. That gets you plenty. That's all what the heck, dude? Holy moly. Did you see that, babe?
Yep.
His FSD mine's in hurry mode. His is in whatever that is for Ford. Ford's got a hurry mode on their FSD too.
Yeah.
Do you see how their FSD is really cool? Their FSD is like road rage. I've got hurry mode. I think he's on road rage mode.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Way to go, Ford. That's interesting. We don't have that at Tesla. One day. You're like, shut up. But, yeah, you know me, babe. I got to do the subtle jabs. Because it's every time I roll the film, you know what I inevitably see at least once, probably twice on every drive. What is it?
Road rage.
Road rage. Jackasses. And there was one. So yeah, so for daily driving, you're just gonna when we get the Model Y Juniper for you, we'll get that mobile connector like I have.
Uh-huh.
And whenever you're at home, you just keep it plugged in. That's it. You're what do they call it? ABC, always be charging. You just keep it plugged in. And I guarantee you, there is literally no amount of driving around Houston that won't be sufficient for you. And if it weren't, then we can go ahead. Remember that we initially had that Tesla chart. Yeah. And so it's a little bit faster, but I just never needed it because the mobile charger does enough. But since there'd be two of us, we may get one of the, we'll see. But honestly, we have several 110 volts in the garage, and that's going to be fine. So that's that. But then your next question was like, well, how much? So that's the cost. So the cost of that is literally nothing, babe. I mean, so think about it. At 8 cents it's probably, let me think. I probably get sitting at home about, let's say it's 20% every day. It's more than that but yeah, let's just say 20 to 25%. And, yeah, it probably cost about 50 cents every day for my charging.
Oh, that's not bad.
No. Yeah, I'd say it may be even less than that, babe, honestly. I'm doing I'm mathing in my head right now. But yeah, somewhere around that, like probably 30 to 50 cents a day, because our power costs are so low. That's just a product of power generation in Texas, and especially in our area of the ERCOT is just really, really good. So we've got that. Then when you're on the road, yes, now you got to use the Tesla supercharger. And what I've seen is that can be all over the place. So I would say most areas of the country at like peak times of the day, it can be like 30 to 35 cents. So, I mean, literally it's going to cost 4 times as much as charging at home. Yeah. But it's still a lot cheaper than, the places where it would cost. Okay, we got vehicles pulling out in front of us, so let me just pay attention to them real quick. Wow. And they all pulled out like clockwork, one after the other, into the same turning lane. That was weird. All right, now one thing, when I've been coming to the airport here lately, it's been waiting a while. Again, it finally does it, but it's been waiting to get over, because this lane, eventually you got to turn left in it. Yep. And for some reason, it just waits till the very last moment to get over. It knows it needs to, but let me just watch this for a second, because we're coming up to the light here in a little bit, and we do have a vehicle that's so see here, we got to start getting over. Is it going to put its blinker on? When's it going to do it? You got to do it. There it is. There's the blinker, and there it goes. Okay, but why wait this long? That part I don't understand. It just waits. It always makes it. Every single time on version 13 that I've come to the airport, it has made it over here, but it also always waits till literally there's 50 feet left. So that's why I'm saying there's still some lane selection stuff going on, but nothing huge. But yeah, going back to what we were talking about, yeah, it's going to cost about 4 to 5 times as much to charge on the road as it does. But that's still, when you do the math on that and compare it to like gassing up your Mercedes, and we have to use 89 to 93 on the Mercedes, right? 92. Well, is there 9? I thought it was at 93. See, I haven't been using gas so long. I thought it was 87, 89, and 93. I could be wrong. Either way. So you're paying, in a lot of places around the country, you're paying $4 to $5 a gallon.
I know. On
that. So, I mean, we're talking significantly less. Even though we would be paying 4 to 5 times as much for power at a Tesla supercharger as we pay at home, it's probably 4 to 5 times less than the gas we would be using in your Mercedes, where we have to put the highest octane in there. So yeah. All right, we're going to A. So let's make sure we do the right lane selection here. Yep, I think we're in the right area. Good deal. Good so far. Really, the trick here is going to be, can it get us up to the Terminal A departures ramp? That's good. So far, so good. We've gotten into the airport. We did the lane selection to continue to the terminals. We made the right lane selection to get to Terminal A and B side versus C, D, and E side. But you know as well as I do, the amount of construction at our airport makes navigation here pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Much more difficult than I would say most other cities' airports, just because we happen to be in the middle of a lot of construction. But I will say, the last few times I've come here, it looks like they're on the tail end of that.
Yeah, it's gotten better.
It's gotten way better than it was, say, a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So something tells me that maybe another year we should be done. Hopefully, knock on wood. All right, making our way around A and B. Slow down a bit. I think we have to merge here, but you still got to slow down for a tight turn. All right, we're going to get over to the middle lane. And that's the other interesting thing, is you almost have to disregard all the signs until you get closer to, because the signs are set up for the future, which doesn't exist yet. And it's like, okay, well, just, yeah, and don't look at the road, the things that are painted on the road, because those are old. Those don't exist anymore. So it's really, all right. So we don't want to go to B, so we need to keep going past B. See, look at all this road construction. See, this used to be, like, they've torn down. This used to be Terminal B right here. Part of Terminal B, and they've torn half of it down. All right, it's getting over like it should, because we're A departures. Now let's see, can you make the ramp? Can you get up on that ramp? I think it's gonna do it, babe. I think it's gonna do it. You gotta keep going though. Awesome, babe, it did it.
Is that the first time?
Nah, I mean, it's done it before, but all right, hold on a second. Let me, because once we get up here, I don't want to hurt any police officers. And then obviously we need to pull over too. So let's see, where's it gonna go in here? Let's see here. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to pull over to. All right, we can get in. Yeah, it's just gonna, there we go. Well, I'll tell you what, that's pretty doggone good, huh, babe?
Yeah, it's the closest we'll get.
Well, I mean, it's the closest we can get.
Yeah.
You can't get in there right now. See, even this is getting constructed. All right, let me stop this for a second, help you get out. That was definitely the best maneuver. Not the best one. All right, baby girl. Love you, babe. Baby, I'm gonna miss you. right. Drop my baby girl off at the airport. Now it is time to head on home. Let's see, make sure we got home in there. Yep. All right, put on the blinker, let them know we're heading out. Looks like we got a vehicle. Oh, we got a Model Y coming through. We're gonna let them through. We do. They come on through. Good job. They are not on FSD. She is looking at her phone as she drives. I'm gonna cut that out of the video because I do not like seeing Tesla folks looking at their phone while they're driving. But you know what? I'm gonna leave that in there for full transparency. Just don't do that, folks. Nice Model Y. I like that color too, the white. Every time I see one on paper, I think I'm not gonna like that. But then when I see a white Model Y, they really look good when they're clean. Because you got to keep those things clean. Because man, when they're not clean, then they just look like a light beige. Doesn't look good. All right. Making our way out of the airport. You see all this road construction right here. Yeah, this, like I've said before, our airport is tore up from the floor up. But once we get out of here, I'll debrief more on the trip out here. But let's get out of all of this first. Make sure we're all right. We're making our way over to the left to the airport exit. Good job. Got a United airplane going right over our head. So please, Lord, let that bridge hold up. And it does. No interventions there. That would have been the intervention of all interventions. What do you call that? That would definitely be a critical disengagement. What happened on that critical disengagement? He had a Boeing 737 land on his head. Yep. I'd say that's pretty critical. All right. Still making our way through the airport here. Make sure we get in the airport exit lanes. Looks like we are. Good so far. All right. Made that fork. Keep going around. We should be home free, at least when I say home free, I mean out of the airport by the time, let's see, oh, we got a vehicle that just pulled out from, where did they even come from? Oh, okay. Didn't realize there was a turning lane there. It's like, where'd that car come from? All right. Now we are back on Will Clayton Parkway, but now we got to merge in with some traffic coming out of the airport like us, just from a different side of the airport at the terminals C, D, and E. We were coming from terminals A and B. Here we go, the airport exit sign. All right, I think we're pretty much home free now. We're still technically on the airport, but at this point we're on Will Clayton Parkway, so we're pretty clear. And there it is. There's the airport visitor sign. Thank you for coming to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Well, you're quite welcome. And welcome to Houston. I love that sign. They actually, I didn't realize, hadn't looked at that before coming through here at night. They light it up. I like that. All right, we got some flashing yellow lights, flashing caution lights. I was going to see how we maintained our speed, but we're coming up to a stop sign, so I have to slow down anyway. So yeah, had a great drive to the airport. Zero intervention. Now, granted, we're still on our drive to get back home. So I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, and anything can happen on the way home, obviously. But as far as like at the airport and getting my wife not just to the proper terminal area and not just getting her to the proper terminal, we also got her up to the departure ramp. So as you saw, as we were driving through there was about 5 or 6 different ways you could go there. I mean, obviously you got to get past terminal B, and sometimes, because the address for terminals A and B are exactly the same, so it's like you got to have a pretty good pin on that too. But fortunately, now that construction is starting to get finalized and they're getting on the tail end of it, the navigation is working a little bit. I would say on the AB side of the airport, it's a little bit better at this point. It's still pretty rough. Well, I take that back. We just went through the AB area. Half of Terminal B is still torn down. So let me take that back. It's all still really, really torn up. But yeah, even with that, and I know it's probably hard to see at night, but it is a lot better today than it was 12 months ago. 12 months ago was almost impossible. I've told people before, driving through our airport 9 to 12 months ago was like trying to take FSD through Beirut in 1983. I mean, it looked like it was bombed out, or Da Nang in 1968. Just crazy. Ooh, that was a quick move. Yeah, it's dark, a little bit, even with the lights, it's pretty dark out here, so sometimes it's hard to see where you need to turn. So I get it why some of these cars are making sudden movements to the left and to the right. All right, we got a traffic light up here at McKay, right by the Chevron and the Waffle House. Got a Jack in the Box across the street, Waffle House over here. All right, this guy, he's trying to figure out how to turn there. He figures it out. All right, we're heading up to the intersection of Will Clayton Parkway and Highway 59, East Tex Freeway. We're going to stay here in the left turning lane. When this light changes, we're going to go underneath the bridge, stay in the left turning lanes, and get up on the feeder, or get onto the feeder for 59 East Tex Freeway going northbound. And then we'll get up on the freeway for about 4 or 5 miles and then head on back to the casa. So yeah, it was a good, really good trip. 0 interventions at the airport. That has definitely been, I'm trying to think the last time I went to the airport. I almost always have one. Now, it's been a long time since I've had any critical interventions at the airport. In fact, I think the last time I had a critical intervention at the airport was on version 11. And what I mean by critical intervention was where if I didn't disengage and take over driving, we would have hit another car or a passenger or a police officer. So either one of those three things is not good. Not good at all. Obviously, you'd rather do the first one than the last two, but none of them are good. And so on version 11, it is still, I had some great drives, but when you would take it into a very complex environment like our airport, yeah, it had some difficulties there. So I did have a few occasions where I had critical interventions there. Critical interventions, critical disengagements, however you want to word it. Version 12, I've never had a critical disengagement since getting on version 12. And obviously now that I'm on version 13, that's continued. I still, every single time I went to the airport, there I would at least have one or two non-critical interventions. So what I mean by non-critical interventions is it wouldn't get to the right side of the terminal, so I would have to manually guide it over. So nothing critical. We're not going to hit anybody, but we're just going to drive around the airport all day long before I actually get to my terminal. So we had that. And then if you were at the right terminal, picking the right lane to get up to the right gate or departure area was difficult sometimes. And so I'd have to disengage in order to do that. Again, not critical, because not going to hurt your car, not going to hurt anybody. But again, I don't want to drive around Terminal C for 3 hours. I want to go to the departure ramp. So take me to the departure ramp. And a lot of times I had to take over to do that. Or the other one, probably the most common one, is when they have police officers out on the road and the car just would not move forward with a police officer right beside the car. And on version 11 and 12, I almost always had to intervene for that. Less so on 12. 12 was getting better. 13 has been great. Like 13, I would say 75% of the time it judges exactly where the police officer is. And once it knows that the police officer's feet aren't in the direct line of the tire well or not in front of our vehicle, it'll go ahead and move forward. So that's been great. Yeah, but tonight, that was just awesome. It not only took us up to Terminal A, it took us to the correct path into Terminal A. It took the departures ramp and not the arrivals area and not Terminal B. It went right, exact right spot. And then when we got there, it selected the proper lane. So there's 3 lanes that you get. Like when you go through Terminal A departure ramp, there's actually 3 lanes. One of them is either shut down or it's just for like taxi and Uber business. It's that first lane. And then the middle lane that we were in, that's for like us, for people that are dropping passengers off and need to stop for a second. And then that third lane is for folks that are passing on through, that are going through that, but they don't need to stop. And you have that from time to time. You'll have folks that just need to make a loop through there and just get on out. So we chose we not only got up on the ramp properly, we chose the proper lane, and then it pulled over and parked us. It parallel parked us so we could drop off. Now, I will be the first to admit, was not the best parallel parking job ever. So I decided to just go ahead and get us a little bit closer. But I'm going to tell you, we were only off by about 3 or 4 feet. I didn't have to get over a whole lot. All right, we got a little bit of a slowdown taking place here. What time is it? Well, it's 6:35 in the evening on Tuesday. So obviously got rush hour traffic right now, but we'll be fine. Awesome. Yeah, so that was great. That was outstanding. Great trip to the airport. Anytime I can get into our airport, drop somebody off exactly where they need to be dropped off, then get out of that airport with no interventions, I mean, I'm really racking my head to try to remember if I've ever had one of those. Man, I can't remember. So anyway, we'll just let that stand on its own. So obviously we're not done with this drive yet. We still got to get home. But that being said, regardless, getting into and out of our airport with 0 interventions, that's always a great day. All right. Getting over to the right so that we can take the North Park Drive exit. Yeah, it's really getting congested up there. Wow. Yeah, that time of the evening. I'm glad we're getting off now. Oh, Lord. I wonder if there was a wreck up there, because once you get north of us, I mean, you're kind of getting in the country now. That's kind of interesting that it's still so congested right there. Thinking there may have unfortunately been a wreck up there. All right, we got a right blinker on. We're going to start moving over to the right, but we got a lot of traffic coming up behind us. Woo, Lord. Yeah. Saw all that dancing going on and folks trying to move over here, so we're just going to move out of their way. Let that expedition on over. We continue to matriculate our way down the feeder of 59 East Tex Freeway northbound. And once we get through this traffic light, we will go our typical way home. We'll go up about another 3/4 of a mile towards Knox Drive. Take a right on Knox Drive. Knox Drive is a small, I was about to say dimly lit, but I don't think it's lit at all. A small, dark country road that is a 2-lane. It's a 1-lane masquerading as a 2-lane. So the lane, the actual road is about the size of a lane right here on this road, but it's obviously a 2-lane, two-way little country road. So we'll go down there, get up to our railroad intersection at 494 in Knox Drive, make our way over the railroad, take a right, and then a left, and then we'll be into my neighborhood. All right, we are staying in the middle lane for now, letting those vehicles turn right into the shopping center. And now we put on our right blinker, we start moving over. Great job. About another 1/4 mile, we'll get to Knox Drive. Yeah, it's still congested up there up on 59. Look at that. I mean, it's moving now, so at least there's that, but it's pretty bad. All right, putting on our right blinker. Okay, and now we are on Knox Drive. And like I said, dimly lit to not lit at all. Got a little bit of lighting right here, and you got a little bit of lighting for the RV park. Although I believe the RV park, they make their own lighting inside there. Yeah, it's actually, there is some lighting out here. It's not, the lights above don't work, but some of these RV parks, they have their own lighting, so that supplies something. All right, coming up to the intersection of 494 and Knox Drive right here at the railroad tracks. They still have not put the traffic light into operation here, but that has no longer been a worry of ours. All right, we got a vehicle turn in there. We should be able, let's see, we've scooted up here. Now we got oncoming vehicles, so we're gonna have to wait on them. We may take our move. There we go. Got to get going though. Good job. Awesome. Yeah, we had a gap there, but I'm not gonna lie to you. That gap was closing quick to our right side there on 494. They were coming on hot. But it took it. And the only issue is that you can't gun it too much to get across, because you got the railroad tracks right there, and you cannot be going 25, 30 miles over those railroad tracks. So you got to skedaddle to get over, but you can't just completely gun it and floor it, because then you got to slow down immediately to get over those railroad tracks. So it does present a little bit of complexity to making it through there. Thus, why they're putting in a traffic light. For the life of me, I have no clue why they haven't gotten that thing turned on yet. It's literally been there like 2 to 3 months now, and they still don't have it operational. I totally get it. You need a traffic light there, and that's one of the reasons why, so that people don't have to gun it to try to get over 494. And then do a Dukes of Hazzard over the railroad tracks when they don't know that they need to bring their speed down. All right, about to come up to the neighborhood. Put on our right blinker. Come to our 0 mile per hour NHTSA stop, make a nice right turn. Very smooth, very tight. I'm gonna make a left here. Got cars parked along both sides of the road, oncoming vehicles. We get over to the right a bit. Nice. All right, we got a 3-way stop up here in front of the elementary school. Come to our 0 mile per hour NHTSA stop, make our right turn. Very smooth, very tight. Great job. We've got the roundabout traffic circle up here in about 100 feet. Make our way into the traffic circle. No other vehicles at the present. Keep moving through. Very good. Maintain a great speed. We maintain about 12 miles an hour. Perfect. All right, we got cars parked along both sides of the road. We got an oncoming truck who's got some very good lighting. We get over to the right for them and another vehicle. Then we get back over. And there we go. Awesome. Great job. Got a 1-way stop right here. The traffic to our left and right has the right of way. They do not have a stop sign, so we need to stop here, look both ways, immediately see nobody's coming, and we go. We take our left. Great job. And we did not hesitate. We did not sit there longer than we needed to. We did come to our 0 mile per hour NHTSA stop, but we did not stay there and lollygag and make the people behind us angry. Love it. All right, we got cars parked on both sides of the road with an oncoming vehicle, so we're going to need to get around the parked car, but not too far over, so that we do not hit that. I believe that was a Cadillac Escalade there. Some folks still got their Christmas lights up. Well, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. What is it, January 14th? Why not? Keep them up till Valentine's Day. All right, we'll be putting on our left blinker here in a second to go into our little cul-de-sac area. Slow down a bit. Nice turn. Now we'll just see how we do. Lots of cars parked at my house, so my presumption is it is going to initially try to park and then figure out it can't, and then do something else and just stop. Or it may just go ahead and decide to parallel park and just be done with it. Let's see what it tries to do. It's taking a wide berth. Man, but my brother-in-law parked way, look, you see how he parked. Yeah, he did not do a great parking job. I think if my brother-in-law would have parked a little bit better, it might have tried to do it, but you see he's at an angle. So she's like, you need to put FSD in his GMC Sierra, because he obviously, she's basically saying, I can park better than your brother-in-law. And based on what I'm seeing right there, I would not argue with her. Man, we're doing, I don't know how many point turns we just did right there. Now let's see what's it doing. I have no clue what this car is. All right, no, we're not parking over here. It was actually going to try to park in my neighbor's. That's funny. All right, let me let this car pass through. That was hilarious. It was literally like, well, if I can't park because your brother-in-law doesn't know how to park. All right, let's back this up. And I don't want to scare my neighbor. They're sitting in their car right now going like, what's this bozo doing? But it was like, if your brother-in-law is not going to let us park in here, then guess what? We're going to go park next door. Yeah, he just does. He literally took up, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to have to, I got to talk to Sin. He's got to park better than that. He just literally, it was like he just skidded in here. Look at that. I got to literally park on the grass. Yeah, come on, Sin. All right. Well, you can see she tried to park, but you see that. So my brother-in-law right there literally skidded in here and just basically said, I don't want anybody else to park in here. My sister-in-law right there literally has it where the nose of her vehicle is over here. So, I mean, that's what it was trying to get into. And I just don't think it had. Number one, the angle's not great from what they're giving you right here. So between my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, they basically got together and said, we're not going to let anybody park here but JC. So I do appreciate that. But they've made it difficult for me as well. So that angle was just going to be tough. But then when it figured out, well, I'm just going to go park next door then. So that was, I would have had my neighbor not actually been in their car at that time. I might have just let it go ahead and finish it out and then get out of there and park. Because obviously I know my neighbors well, but I just don't want to, and they know I have a Tesla and they know all the things that, I do the filming with the Tesla, but at the same time, I don't want to, that would just be weird, right? To let it park in your neighbor's driveway and then sit there and talk into a camera. That's just weird. Not that what I already do isn't weird enough. That would take it to a whole nother level. All right, everybody. Well, that was a great drive. Dropped my wife off at the airport so she can go to Wichita, Kansas for a couple of days. And, yeah, I will, get this downloaded and uploaded. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your Tuesday evening and that you're having a great week. And I will talk to all of y'all again soon. Bye.